Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Kali.
And I'm Carrie.
Yeah. So this will be our first video. So we'll be discussing Fort Wayne, the first book in the Empyrean series. There are 3 books in total that are out now, and this is a 5-book series. So you know the cliffhanger there. So if you haven't read Fort Wayne, we're going to go in depth. So spoiler alert. If you haven't read it, bestie, save it and come back after you read the book. Alright?
Yeah, so we'll be going a bit more in depth in this book, and we'll be saying what I like about this book and what I dislike about this book, and if it's strongly recommended to all our book lovers out there. And Alicia will be saying what she likes and dislikes about the book also. So, to the end of the book, we will have questionnaires that we will be asking each other about our characters in this book. So, let's jump in. So, Calicia, first off.
Alright, so just a reintroduction of what Fort Wayne is about. It's basically about a war college with riders, dragons, and you have different quadrants and stuff like that. So this is a fantasy, a more of a romantasy, because the plot is heavy, but the romance in the book is a little bit
Top
next level.
tier.
Understand?
It is
So
up there.
it's such a good read though. If you enjoy a mixture of romance and fantasy, it's a good read. So I recommended this book to Kara, as I had said before in one of our previous videos, and she loves this book. Me? Oh God. Don't even talk about it. I have read this book more than once. So you can know how much I love this book. Right? So what's your input on the book? What do you think of Fort Wayne? Why do you like Fort Wayne that much?
Okay, so as I was saying, the book, about the book. When you first introduced me to this book, I was a bit iffy on whether or not I should, uh, you know, as I would always give it to you, waste my time in reading a book that you read, because we all know what you like, and what you like is sometimes not what I like.
Right, as reading is subjective.
Exactly.
Right.
So when you first tell me about this book, I was on the iffy side, as I said. But having the book, reading the book, could not get my head out of the book. So you know what that was like, because I am someone that when I pick up a book to read, as long as the book speaks to me, I am all for it.
Right.
So I couldn't wait to get home from work to read the book. I couldn't wait until lunchtime to read the book. I would go to bed like so late at night. And I would wake up in the morning so tired. And I would go to work so tired. It was exhausting, but it was worth it, I tell you. So as for this book, it speaks to you in different ways, because different books speaks different language.
Yes, it does.
So this one has to do with dragons and their riders, and it's all about a squadron. It's different people that are in it. It's not a brutal book as it per se. It's fly or die. That's exactly what it is all about.
Yes.
So going into the book, tell me, what do you like about the characters? Like, how did you feel when you turned the first page?
Alright, so when I started reading Fort Wayne, I went into it and I was like, alright, fantasy. I'm a big fantasy girly, so yeah, me I go just start reading the book. Alright, so after reading the first chapter, everything started coming into perspective. The inside of the book is beautiful. The pages smell good. And once you're a book girl, you know how book pages smell. Them smell good. The first chapter was describing there's a beautiful young lady who may seem weaker than others, but she's strong. She's always pushing through. She's being thrown into something that she didn't choose,
Yeah,
right?
we would call it the lion then.
So
As a Jamaican, that's what we would call
we
it.
would say, right? So she's thrown into the lion's den without a guide, without no preparation. She had been training her whole life for something else, and she's just training to something.
To be
It's just like
taken from what you're used to, it's odd.
it's odd because you have to readjust. You have to try to get acquainted with the new situation and new environment. So in the first chapter, she goes to her mother's office because her mother is a general in the book. It's a war cottage, and she's more of a girly who would be in the scribe quadrant because she's the text girly, the one who's reading, the one who's recording history and stuff like that, and being thrown into a whole different quadrant that has physical strength in it, and it's, as she said, it's either fly or die. So it's either you fly or you die.
Yeah. And if y'all are wondering what a scribe's quadrant is like, it's like Google for us. It's it's gaining information about the future, about what's next to come. So why I call it Google for us, it's because we'll go on Google and we'll
Research.
we'll research. For them, they don't have phones in their time, so there's not uh,
So it's data
means of
farm.
communication. There's no means of communication when it comes to phones or
No modern technology at all.
Exactly.
So it's
the
letters
scribe
and stuff like that.
quadrant is like retaining information. So the scribes are the one to know
The history.
the history of it all.
So when I think about it, it would be like this big library with all these books dating, covering each year, each time, each individual who's important to history. So that is what she had been trained her whole life to do. But now she's going into the rider squadron. And persons don't survive the rider squadron.
You have to be strong for it.
You have to be strong and keep in mind she's a female character who's different from others. She doesn't have the physical strength because she's smaller than others in terms of size. But what
And
she
her
has,
whole life she had been in the library. That's all she knows.
and it when her mommy was pregnant, her mom was sick. Hence she had like this sickness which make her bones a little bit prickly, so she's easy to break, as you would say. So going into chapter one, going to her mommy's office, and then going to her first trial. Because this book is about trials and trials after trials. And the first trial was to pass a parapet. And that would be like
It would
a
be
line
a log.
over
Yeah.
a 20 feet fall.
It would be a log over a precipice.
That's
That's what
what
I
it-
would call it.
Exactly. And she has to cross that on a rainy day, a day where thunder and rain is falling. So imagine that. But in order for her to meet the MMC, the main male character, she has to cross that parapet.
Which it wasn't something that she had wanted. She wanted to be a scribe like her dad, but due to the passing of her father, her mother was so bitter about scribes, so she pushed her to be in the writer's squadron, thinking that she would be safer there, thinking that she would be built. Now, in the writer's squadron, that's where you're going to have to fight for it all.
Everything.
So, if you think crossing the
Parapet
parapet
was
was
hard. It's constant fighting. You have to fight to sleep. You have to fight to eat. It's a constant battle. They would say that riders don't live past a certain age. Riders don't make it until graduation, and graduation is within 3 years of being in the rider squadron. And if you can't live 3 years to show you how bad it is, it's something else.
But wouldn't you add?
I would be violent. It was worth it.
It was worth
It
it.
was
I
worth
mean,
it.
once you see that Zayden Ryerson, ah, I
Everybody
was
have their own image. And my question to you would be, what was your first impression of Zayden and what did you envision Zayden to be?
alrighty. So going through this book, meeting Zayden character for the first time, I was like, oh my god, because I'm the baddie type when it comes to book. I like bad boy. I ain't gonna lie. I like Dirk Lord. And that's what Zayden is. Zayden speaks his mind. He doesn't hold back. He says
He
what
has no
he
filter.
wants. He has no filter. So when it came to Zayden, I instantly fell in love.
Definitely. I familiar with books I like more great characters. Them have a good need the bad boy exterior. But yeah. My first impression of Zayden is like, alright, who is this guy that she's supposed to stay away from and she's not supposed to befriend? Because they don't have friends in the Rider Squadron. Who's this guy? And then when she started describing as a quote, how she described it, she's describing his jawline, his tanny skin, his tattoo swirling to his neck.
So you know you started building a character.
You start building
It
the
was
character in your
nice.
head.
Oh yeah, it was.
Alright.
For me, it was like I would watch a movie, and in that movie there would be a certain character, and I would be like,
This
"That's Zayden." It was so funny for me. I would watch one TV series to another TV series, and I would be like,
Finding the right Zayden.
finding the right Zayden, and I did, guys. I did find the right Zayden. I can't tell you though, but I did.
Everybody have their own version of Zayden. But one thing is for sure. Him have the looks.
He does, he does. And Zayden as a character is not white, and neither is he black. He's a mixture of.
So you have the book describe him as having tawny, dark skin. And that speaks for itself.
Yeah,
Everybody have their own
he's
version
mixed.
of Zayden, but
Yeah.
he's a mixed character. The book continue on with a lot more action and stuff like that. You're introduced to other characters.
Yeah, like Dane for one,
Then
which was a
Zayden.
child friend
Exactly.
of Violet, right?
Yeah.
And what did you think of Dane the first time you were introduced
All right.
to her?
I'm like, in chapter 1, she described Dane as, oh my God, she's going to see Dane for, she haven't seen Dane in so long. So she's excited to see Dane. I'm excited to see who is Dane too, because she's talking highly about this Dane. And going over into the Rider Squadron, she meets Dane. Dane is this protected, overprotected guy, and not in a good way, but in a way that he might take the choice away from her.
Yeah. And Mark Hughes, she was head over heels about Dane. I
And she
don't
is
know what was this Dane about, but she was head over heels about Dane.
She's like, "This my childhood friend, you know. We have that connection from a long time." But to me, personally, Dean was an asshole.
Period.
I hate that. I don't think I will ever be Team Dean. I am not supposed to love the enemy, which is Zayden Ryerson. And I am not Team Dean. I am Team Zayden.
But what's not to love about Zayden at the end of the day?
Well, a lot. A lot is there to love. The book goes on in describing the different dragons, their signets. There are different breeds of dragon. I think there are 6 breeds of dragons in the book, and they have different colors. The story goes on to tell about Violet's trials, how she overcome them, how Zayden empowered her in a time where her friend Dean wanted her to leave the project for her safety. Even Zayden being the enemy encouraged her to show her violent side, because even though she didn't have the physical strength, she had speed and agility to fight. She could do that. So she could throw a knife at your head and it gone, literally. But she went through all these trials. reach the point of threshing. Threshing would be where the dragon choose you, because every dragon rider is chosen by a dragon. They don't choose their dragon; the dragon choose them. And going into threshing, she didn't know which dragon would choose her.
She didn't even think a dragon
Would choose her because she's so small.
Yes.
Her whole squad says she's a liability because she's the weakest link.
Exactly.
And in the rider quadrant, if you're weak,
Then you won't be able
you won't be
But
able to pair with a dragon.
one of the most powerful, biggest dragon was the one
Who chose her?
chose her, which was so funny because she had tried to protect the smaller dragon, and hence the reason showed strength and agility, and because of that, the dragon was so attracted to her and choosing her
As a bonding with her.
as his rider.
What would you think when that dragon, the dragon name by the way is Turin, Trinanock, but they call him Turin for short. What would you think? What did you think when Turin chose her and said to her, "Violet Serenity, I know exactly who and what you are." What is your first impression?
I was Matthew. When he said that, I was like, uh, does Dragon actually watch them while they train and all of that? Because I was like, how would he know who Violet was?
Exactly.
Because if she's someone you hadn't seen and all of that, but going into the book, you notice where Dragon could actually read your mind and all of that. So it all came into perspective. What he was talking about. He knew she was strong, even when she didn't know that.
Right.
He knew who he was pairing with, and he chose her as his rider. So that's
And I love Tyrion. Tyrion has a grumpy,
He's
a
like
whole
an old man.
different
He's
level.
like an old man.
He's sassy.
He's like an
And
old man.
Banding with dragon will give you signets, but you have to manifest those signets from your dragon. And Violet have worked so hard in this book, do her best. As I said, she break easily, so her bones would be broken, and she would wrap them, tie them, and
Yeah,
she would
like with
go
her.
like nothing happens. Um, she have there are other characters in the books, her friends that she
Yeah.
met. You have other characters that you get to fall in love with. But one of the thing is bonding a dragon, like Tyrion. Tyrion was already mated to another dragon, and that dragon was
Zayden's dragon.
Zayden's dragon. So now they're tied together with without their choice.
No, it's no choice.
It's no
It's not a
choice of them.
choice who you bond with or who the dragon bond with. So Terrain and Sigil
Are
were
mates.
mates. So because they're mates, they cannot be apart for long. So Zayden being Sigil's rather than
Violet became
Terrain
Tyrion, right?
rather, it ends up bringing them together. There is no choice whether or not they
Like each other or not.
they have to work with it. It's
They
just
have to
something
work
that
with
they have to work with. All four of them was bonded together. So it was a no on their side whether or not they wanted to get along.
And then again, with Violet bonding with Tyrion, bonding the most powerful dragon in history who haven't bonded in the last 5 years. Other riders who haven't bonded with a dragon wanted that dragon. So it's a life and death situation where they're gonna fight for that dragon to bond with them by taking her out because she's the weakling. It turns out that Zayden had to protect her because if anything happened to Violet, it affects Tyrion, and anything happened to Tyrion affects Sigil, and Sigil is Zayden's dragon, so it will eventually affect Zayden.
Yeah.
But this story, it's a lot, but it's worth it. Every single page is worth it.
It is. And we couldn't go through everything tonight or else, guys,
who would be here forever.
We would be here forever. It's
Because when we're going to the details about everything. But if this book does sound like something that you'll enjoy, go for it and let us know what you think of it.
And Rebecca didn't lose no sleep over it. Okay? She in every spot.
Every spot.
Check out Rebecca Yarros and her lines of books.
They're on Kindle. Some of them are on Kindle Unlimited. You can find them on Amazon.
And for my
anywhere books are sold.
You can always find it in
Target,
Walmart.
Walmart, Barnes and Noble. As I said, anywhere books are sold. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching our video. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell, share, and comment.
Bye, guys.